Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning in to Disembodied Screams, horror that lives in your soul. Wearing my Spider-Man t-shirt, drinking coffee out of my Batman coffee mug. Just finished Daredevil Born Again, the first season. And I thought, as I expand and grow this channel, why not let's dive into some comic book episodes and TV shows, and I might do some Star Wars stuff too. I've been thinking about going through the Star Wars movies and maybe go through Andor because I'm really looking forward to seeing Andor again. I really loved the first season of Andor. It's up there with The Mandalorian for me. Those two are just amazing Star Wars series. But sip of coffee while it's hot. And let's get into this a minute. I flipped over to Wikipedia. Just give you a little background. Daredevil Born Again is an American series created by Dario and Matt. I can't pronounce Dario's last name. Scartapane, and Matt Corman and Chris Ord for Disney Plus, based on Marvel Comics character Daredevil, of course. It is the 13th television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, produced by Marvel Studios via its Marvel Television label, sharing continuity with the films and television series of the franchise. Born Again is a revival and continuation of Daredevil 2015 to 2018. Sidebar, loved that show. It's one of the few that I've watched back to front. I mean, I could almost watch again. Just absolutely loved Daredevil on Netflix. And of course, when I saw Born Again on Disney, I was like, yep, I'm right back there again. Daredevil is one of my favorite comic book superheroes. I don't read a lot of comics, but I watch a lot of comic book stuff. And Batman, Spider-Man, Daredevil, they're all up there really high for me. I was into The Flash pretty heavy for a bit when the WB show was out, or the CW show, but I've kind of lost a little favor with it over time. And what else is out there? I like Doctor Strange. You know, you got Sam Raimi directing this Doctor Strange movie, which was really cool. There's some other ones. Hellboy. You know, I like the darker, more horror-centered um, superheroes and comic books. That's what I jive with more. Not that I can't get into some of the other ones like Iron Man and things like that, but I do. What pulls me in is the darker ones for some reason. I guess because I love horror, and I love the horror genre, and I love when comic books and horror come together. So, anyways, back to what I was reading. It says an earlier series produced by Marvel Television, talking about the Netflix show. Scartapane S. I may put the name at the bottom here so you guys can try to pronounce it. Serves as showrunner with Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. The series name references the 1986 comic book storyline Born Again by Frank Miller and David. These names, I'll put these names. David at the bottom here. Mazzucchelli. Um, though it's not a directed adaptation. That's what it says. Let's see. I'm going to go through a little bit of notes here. Theme music composed by the Newton Brothers. Number of seasons, 1. Number of episodes, 9. 9 pretty solid episodes. And I was hoping, Charlie Cox. I can't remember the guy's name who plays Daredevil. Awesome job in that role. I mean, that was part of what sold me on Daredevil when I saw Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox and that entire Daredevil cast from Netflix coming back. I was like, yeah, sign me up. I could try and do a Kingpin impersonation. Should I try it? I do okay with it. But anyways, I was going to go through episode. So here we go. Episodes. Heaven's Half Hour. Man, that first episode really sucked me in. Seeing Daredevil back again and just all the Daredevil stuff. I was like, oh man, that's so good. That's so good. That's everything I would want it. I'm trying to think about Optics and the Hollow of His Hand. I don't remember those as well, but I know I enjoyed them. Six Semper Systema, it was number 4. With Interest is the bank one. That was number 5, and that's one of my favorites from this season was episode 5. Just something about that bank one that just really pulled me in and was captivated and kept me going. Another sip of coffee. Very professional here on YouTube, aren't I? Excessive Force, Art for Art's Sake, Isle of Joy, and Straight to Hell. Those were the episode names. And I was trying to just do some memories, but I can't remember a lot about some of these for some weird reason. I don't know why. I just remember I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed each and every episode. I love seeing Daredevil back again. I wish he'd had the suit more, but I really liked the angle they were going. Trying to think of some other stuff. I do know there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that went on too, or a lot of stuff was reshot and re-put together. And like the first episode was like something brand new, and I think season 8 and 9 were brand new episodes, and then the middle batch were sort of mashed together from what was left over the other stuff. I think that's what I read somewhere. Um, Good villains this season. Muse, I like what they did with Muse. I think it was Muse, right? Yeah, Muse. Um, but it was too quick. I mean, I was like 1 week they were setting it up to this big thing, and then all of a sudden, episode 7 or 8 happened. He's in therapy, and there he is. And I was like, man, that was kind of quick. But I did get a good fight between him and Daredevil, which I really, really liked. Love seeing the Punisher back again. Can't think of the guy that plays the name of the lead actor of the Punisher, but he was really good in The Walking Dead, and everything he does, I do like him in. He's really good. The Punisher is good. And I don't know if I said spoilers or not, but I'm going to get into a little bit of the last episode, which I just finished. This is the one that made me make this video, Straight to Hell. And wow, it was one of those talking to the screen videos so much that my wife said, "You know what? You're not the only one in this house. You're not the only one here. I'm also here, so please be quiet." But when Punisher and Daredevil got to fighting in that one scene with those cops, my goodness, the gore and the violence and the mayhem. Oh man, sweet, sweet stuff. And I like which there's another spot too with the Punisher and just seeing the Punisher. Punisher went to take on these police officers in one scene towards the end. And, like I said, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, check out. But he doesn't make it through these police officers. They capture him, but he puts a whooping on them. I mean, a whooping on them. Beats the tar out of most of them before and kills several of them. And then Vincent D'Onofrio, we're going to save New York City. We've got to save the city. He rips a guy's head clean off. I mean, I'm getting a little excited already. He does like this, and this is like a rah kind of thing. And the guy's whole head comes off like something straight out of a Jason Voorhees movie. In fact, I think Jason did that in one of the movies. I think maybe part 7, they cut that when Jason did that. One of those. But anyways, yeah, I was surprised with the language, surprised with the gore, surprised with the violence. Um, most of the season was pretty solid. There were episodes that really did stand out to me. Like when I think of this season, I think of episode 1, just getting back into that. I think of the last 2 episodes with just so much going on. The bank one just really stood out to me more so than the other ones. There's some really cool Muse stuff. It kind of remind me of, I hope I'm getting this right. I think it's Muse. Hope I'm not mistaken on that. I will correct myself if I did. But anyways, there was some like Saw stuff with him. The stuff of drawing blood out of people in order to paint the graffiti. He was using like his like blood from people to paint graffiti on the walls. I mean, straight out horror movie kind of stuff. Loved it. Really, really good stuff. So, kind of an overview of Daredevil, Born Again. Just got to say, I really, truly enjoyed it. Not writing a haiku for this one. Just going to just do a straight up season review, a brief season review. And, there's probably other ones on here that are a little bit better than mine. I'm a little bit rusty at this because I haven't done it before. So maybe next time I'll jot down some notes as I go through each episode, and I have something to kind of refer back to instead of just 52-year-old brain. Who's the other one? Cody Leach. I think he did a review of Daredevil season 1. And Sean Chandler, who I mentioned in a video earlier, I think he did one. So a couple of guys that I kind of follow on YouTube and watch from time to time. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks for checking out this season review of Daredevil Born Again. I will iron out the kinks and do this again. I might do this for Andor season 2 because I am looking into maybe running through the Star Wars movies in review and haiku form. I know this is primarily a horror, excuse me, a horror channel, but Star Wars skirts that line sometimes, and comics skirt that line sometimes, and romances skirt that horror line. So if I feel like it can fit in this little niche on my YouTube channel, I will put it in there. So, and especially when I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt, I got to do it. And more comic book stuff coming up. I just rewatched the Dark Knight trilogy. Wrote some scripts for Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Amazing movies from start to finish. Start to finish. Christopher Nolan just nailed it perfectly. Nailed each and every one of those perfectly. So look for those in the future. And I'm probably going to dive into some Spider-Man. I love me some Spider-Man. So, like I said, I've introduced comic books onto the channel already. My Deadpool and Wolverine review and haiku did really, really well. Really liked that movie a lot more than I thought I would. Um, Deadpool gets a little bit on my nerves occasionally because Ryan Reynolds kind of gets on my nerves and it's a little too jokey. I want it to be a little more less jokey sometimes. But Deadpool and Wolverine was just covered in horror stuff. I was amazed the horror stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine, from the gore and just the macabre stuff they did, like using Ant-Man's big skeleton as a fortress. That was just so wild to see. So anyways, that's it. Thanks for listening this far. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video, and more comic book stuff to come. Take care and have a good one.